What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Carrie.
What's up?
What's up is we're still playing Marvel Snap. Is what me and Mike are doing, at least. I can't speak for Carrie, but we're still snapping away.
I'm still playing Fallout 4, so I finished the main storyline yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I blew up the Institute. I didn't feel good about it, but like it's always fun to set off a big bomb.
Yeah, and the Fallout game certainly lets you do that. So,
and you were with the Brotherhood of Fascists, right?
Yeah. I wanted a different flavor of game, and as I said last week, I would consider the Railroad the most like morally correct of the three primary factions, but they're led by a bunch of people who are completely unlikable. So I can't hang out with them. So
it's funny how art imitates life sometimes.
Yeah, that one hurts. It's I mean, I don't know. Like Fallout 4 is a very fun game in a lot of ways. I think all the side quests are great. I think the expansions are both a lot of fun. I think all of the companions are written really well. There's so much fun to do in that game, and then like the main storyline just kind of sucks. It's not the first time a Bethesda game has been like that, because Oblivion was exactly the same way.
Sounds like a Bethesda game to me.
Yeah. That's it. Sounds kind of like Skyrim too. Like Skyrim, I was way more interested in the side stories than the main path. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I thought, getting to fight Alduin at the end at least like felt really cool and exciting, and like the end shit in Oblivion doesn't feel cool or exciting. Like that man turns into a dragon god and like ascends to the next plane, and you're just like, okay, bye.
Oh, he fucking poochies his way out of the game. Yeah. What happens there? I must return to my home planet.
Yeah. So,
fantastic.
Fallout.
It's not often that we
Snap.
Well, yeah, it's not often that we get to dip in the post office right away, but we're going to do it for this. First, Daniel says, Mike and Brad, status report on Marvel Snap collection level. And then Bane Supreme says, Marvel Snap still has me in a chokehold. Brad and Micah, are you guys still playing? And if so, how many decks are you rocking? Micah, what is your collection level at currently in Marvel Snap?
So I don't get to play as much as I want to. Mm-hmm. My collection level is only at 165. That's the level at the top, right? Not the season level.
Yes,
right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it's at 165, and I'm getting all these cards, and I have 4 decks. Mm-hmm. But I really only focus on one because I kind of am scared of all the fancy cards, mm-hmm. right? Like there are a couple of fancy cards, but I just need to sit down, look at all of them, and figure out what works best with other cards. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right now, my deck is pretty. The deck that I use a lot is, pretty. It fits me, my play style, like brute force, mm-hmm. and I use the environment around me to kind of get past some of my shortcomings. But I've been hitting. I won't say I've been hitting kind of a wall, mm-hmm. where I'm finding people who actually know what they're doing.
Well, what rank level are you at right now?
I'm hovering between 19 and 20.
Okay.
And like I said, it's not I don't get a chance to play as much as I want to, but I think that's part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Like I get the chance to play when I'm like putting a kid to bed, right? And I can play maybe like 2 or 3 games if I'm lucky. Mm-hmm. But I got all these cards. I got to figure out what to do now. And I've been like, the reason I would be higher, but like I've been going a little snap crazy, and like I just lost 8 cubes earlier today, and I'm just like, yo, you need to calm down. You need to calm down and just kind of think about what you're doing. But I thought I had him, man. I thought
Yeah.
I had him, and he fucking pulled out an Odin, and I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, if you see a lot of reveal cards popping out, you gotta expect that turn 6 Odin. I'm at what am I at right now? I'm at 296, I think, on the collection level front. My rank is like 30. I'm hovering between 33 and 35 because see, my problem is that just like any other CCG, I like to deck build and experiment too much. Like I have like 2 decks that win fairly consistently that I have pretty good, but I keep wanting to make new decks and try to kind of experiment with the different factions. So I have like 5 decks right now, and I want to build a 6th because like the thing that I like doing, and again, every card game, like collectible card game that I've ever played in my life, I've always done this with, is I like to take the cards that seem bad, like on their face, and try to work them into like a workable concept. Like I always play against meta as much as possible, which is not good for your rank. Like I should be way higher ranked than like mid 30s. I was like low 30s last week. I haven't made very much progress this week. But I like to experiment too much. I'm working with a deck right now of like extremely high power cards where I can basically only play 1 card per turn. So I have to be really precise as far as like which, where I play cards and when I play cards. Like Namor, we were just talking about before the episode started, I'm finding is a really good like turn 5, turn 6 card. Like it's better to play him not early. It's better to play him late when your opponents don't realize that they might think you gave up on a location because you didn't put any cards in it, kind of thing. Or using him with like Claw, for example, is a very nice way to win a location with 1 card. Things of that nature. So, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm finding that it's settled into a nice groove. I'm playing maybe between 15 and 30 minutes a day. Generally, depends on how I'm feeling. Like sometimes I'll play during my whole lunch break. Sometimes I'll, just play a game or two when I have time. I don't feel obligated to check in every day, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's generally what you want out of games like this is, don't feel like you have to like have a list of shit you have to check off like dailies that you have to go in there. I mean, they have daily missions, but the pool is not, there that you feel like you need to do them. But yeah, so far so good. I did buy the welcome pack, so I gave them $3 for their Captain America card, and
I did too.
Yeah, 700 gold.
I was debating. I was going back and forth for like 2 days on whether or not I should buy the season pass, and I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it yet, but
if I don't know if I'm going to or not. Like I'm at like rank 44 of the season pass, so like I've almost maxed it out. So like I've almost gotten to the point where like it would be a good buy because of how many things I would get from it. I don't know. I just don't know if I feel like spending $10 to get a couple Spider-Man cards.
It's $10, and I just don't. I don't know. They're not offering enough cards. Like their battle pass offers enough like free credits and free gold, where I'm just like, all right, I'll just do this, right? Like I can just keep this going. Do they expire?
What, the credits and the season pass?
No, the season pass.
Oh, I would assume so. Like when this season ends, I would expect there's going to be another season pass available. Pretty sure it's like 1 a month. It seems like it's the cadence that they're going on.
Okay. Now, my only experience with season passes are with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
They don't expire.
God.
They don't expire.
Well, I mean, they can't expire when you're only doing one, in a 1 year span.
Right, exactly. One every 6 months if you're lucky. But yeah, if they expire, then I'm not gonna bother.
Destiny. So like the way Destiny's is set up is that they at least have it where like you can go claim unclaimed rewards from prior seasons. Like if you forgot to pick up some rewards, you can still go get them from the prior seasons. But I don't think you can unlock like a premium track after the season is done and dusted. And
so with Halo Infinite, if you buy a season pass, you have to buy it within the season, but you don't have to finish it within the season.
No, that's that most games that have a season pass, you have to finish it, and that's why like so this is Marvel does have this, and this is what a lot of games do, is they'll like you can buy the season pass, right, but then you can also buy like level boosters in the season pass to like jump 10 levels essentially. So you can, so like if you want to play catch up, like you can pay if you weren't actually playing to unlock stuff.
Oh no! All right, well then forget that. No.
Yeah, because what level are you at right now?
I'm only at like level like 25.
Oh yeah,
like
you're
that.
not. There's no way you're gonna finish it in time.
No.
For me, like I'll be at level 50, so I'll know exactly what I'm getting when it's time to get it. If I want to spend the $10, but for you, no, you'd have to spend like $20 to match.
Yeah, because it took me so long to get through the initial like free season pass, the Blue Marvel season pass, and by the time I got through that, there were like it's like a week and a half left on the Spider-Man season pass.
Yeah.
All right. No.
Well, and see that, and that's my other problem too, is that I'm building decks that cater around like the season pass objectives essentially, because they give you a shitload of XP to put towards the season pass. So like that's the other reason that I'm not really concentrating on like a winning deck, is because I'm just like, oh, like they want me to destroy cards now. Well, let me use my deck where I destroy a lot of cards so that I can unlock this XP and do that stuff.
Well, look, the only way they're going to get $10 out of me is if they have a Doom season pass. That's it. That's it. That's the only way. Look, I'm not even going to front.
Have you seen a Doctor Doom card yet? I have not.
I have not seen one yet, which is why I'm assuming something like that would be ripe for a season pass. You know what I mean? If they're doing Spider-Man and like not even Peter Parker Spider-Man, like they're doing Miles Morales Spider-Man as a season pass. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna have Doctor Doom be a season pass. So yeah, you're not getting my $10 just yet.
Very cool, but still playing. Don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
No, it's actually a really great game. Like I might have to start trying other card games as long as they're not like too complicated. Like this game is not. This game is very simple. And it eases you into it in a way that I can appreciate as a person who just like does not play these types of games. So I'm curious.
I will warn you that this game, Marvel Snap, probably has the best onboarding process that I've seen from a game like this, because not only do they ease you into the mechanics, like you can't even use the snap mechanic till you're like level 10 or shit like that. But what I did not realize when we talked about this last week that I've learned is apparently until you get to like rank 30 in ranked play, like there's a healthy mixture of bots that you're also matched against. So, but it's not really ever obvious when you're playing a bot. Like they just kind of look like regular people. And a lot of games do this. Like a lot of shooters will do this. Fortnite famously does this now, where like when you open up a new account and your first few games, like you're actually like it's like a third players and then 2/3 bots. So like when you win in your first couple games, you feel awesome. You're like, oh man, I'm great at Fortnite. I want to keep playing. You're probably killing a shitload of bots, and that's why they do it. Is because they want to pump your tires a little bit to make sure that you come back to get to see feel what those endorphins feel like, so that you can come back and play the game. And I think Marvel Snap does the same thing, where they feed you a lot of bots, especially early on. Because like when I first started playing, like until I got to like rank 25, I don't think I barely lost a game. Like if I did even lose a game.
For a long time, I was like, "Yo, this is simple." and then I realized, oh wait, I'm playing Elektra. Like, come on, yo. Like no one's naming their character Elektra, right? But yeah, look. It's super fun. It's the best type of mobile game for me. It's not super intrusive. There aren't like stupid pop-ups all over the place. It's fun. It's something you could pick up, and put down within a commercial break. Like I'm very impressed with this game.
Yep.
I remember when it was announced, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Says the guy that put how many hours into Marvel Heroes, and how much money did you put into that shit?
Well, I was different. It wasn't on my phone then.
It's true, but you could now. I think Marvel Heroes is on phone, isn't it now?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
we actually got some news this week, one of which is a follow-up story that, if you listen to what we said about this story last week, shouldn't really surprise you at all. So Hellena Taylor, omitter of truths when it comes to this Bayonetta situation, decided to stick to her guns, and she decided to share with fans a list of charities that maybe they should donate their Bayonetta money to instead of going out and buying the well-reviewed Bayonetta 3. And one of those charities, of course, as we kind of preempted last week, is a organization that puts up anti-abortion billboards in conservative areas.
It's not so like.
Don't trust white people quote scripture, yo. Don't do it. They're not your friend. They're not your friend, man.
So, like, the thing about this that like really blows my mind is the fact that like she's not even encouraging people to donate to one of these like completely bullshit crisis pregnancy centers.
Mm-hmm.
This is a charity that literally just spends money to put up billboards to yell at women and others who would want to pursue an abortion. Like,
Carrie, these are her people.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Man.
So again, I reiterate that just because Hellena Taylor has shit views does not mean that she or any other voice actor should not be paid a fair wage for their talents.
Yes.
And for their uses. But again, if you were going to find a flag bearer to lead the charge for pay equity in voice acting in the gaming industry, you just could not have picked a worse person to have out there in front. Because she seems fucking horrible.
Yeah, she seems as a person. Pretty awful. There's a lot of good folks for you to support in voice acting. There's a lot of great reasons to support the voice acting part of this industry. But please don't hang your hat on Hellena Taylor. She will not be missed by probably really anyone at this point. Mm-hmm. So
now
I bought Bayonetta.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was on my like maybe like list. Then it started getting reviewed very well. And I was like, all right. Like, because this woman's kind of foul, and because this game is getting like super high reviews, I'm just gonna buy it anyway, right? Like, you don't need I need the flimsiest of excuses to buy a video game, right? And it's very fun. Jennifer Hale is voicing Bayonetta now, and I can hear a difference. I don't think the average person would be able to hear a difference.
It's also been 8 years since the last Bayonetta game was released.
Yeah, like which really helps because like I'm not like so engrossed into the story of Bayonetta, right? Like I don't really know what the fuck is going on. She's got like a Joe Pesci sidekick,
what is,
he does, man. Like he's short, he's squat, he has a thick New York Italian accent.
Does he hit people with a baseball bat?
No, he's like Joe Pesci if Joe Pesci was George Costanza. like he's a tough guy, but he's like more bark than bite. You know what I mean? And it's hilarious to see like this short little comic relief dude next to this like this model who's like 3/4 legs, and it's just the dynamic is weird and it's funny. I think everyone, that whole game series is just like weird and funny, especially this one. Like there's this like punk rock samurai chick, woman who is who's like animal, like she has a pet that's like a giant like 10-foot tall Cheshire cat that she uses as a mount, but like in order to it flies, but it gets on like one of those old timey bicycles with a big wheel in the front and a tiny wheel in the back, and it pedals as it flies, and they're just like sitting on top of it. It like drugs must be amazing, guys. Drugs must be amazing.
This seems like a Radon situation, essentially.
Yeah,
like a reverse General Radon.
It's wild. The new gameplay mechanic, and then I'll stop talking about this. The new gameplay mechanic in Bayonetta is she can summon like demons now, and it's basically like giant avatars, like calling down a Megazord at will, right, to fight off like giant enemies. It's tied to like a resource, and in certain locations you can like have infinite resources, and it's just super fun, right? It's just odd that like in order to summon it, like she's just off in the corner, just like dancing. She's dancing like an Asari in a bar, right? While you're controlling it. It's a decent little mechanic, but and I'm glad they tried something new. But I think this series has kind of run its course. At least with me, I because the only thing that would keep you here now is the story, and I don't really care about the story. I just wanna do cool shit. So
I think they're pretty much done with it as well. I mean, I feel like that this was a bit of a Hail Mary to get this one made anyway.
yeah,
So I can't imagine that we're going to see a Bayonetta 4 at any point, which is fine. I mean, like I said, it got 3 games. Many series don't even get that. So
It 3 games after the first one was like came out and was a cult hit, but was sort of dumped by the original publisher, and Nintendo went, "We'll take it."
yeah, back when Capcom could miss and missed often back in the day.
yeah.
Not the new modern Capcom that we're that we're all familiar with. So yeah.
All right. Go to densepixels.com/fans. Do that, and you'll be invited to our Discord. There, we can talk about a myriad of things. And you can post something in the post office that you want us to talk about. So if you are the type of person that gets off hearing Brad read your name and your statement, go to densepixels.com/fans. He'll do it. Or Carrie, or me. If you want to hear your name on the internet, go to densepixels.com/fans. I mean, there's not many places are gonna give you the opportunity to hear your name on the internet. Go to youtube.com/densepixels. Smash that like button. Click that notification bell. New episodes every week when we're not going to North Carolina. And subscribe to all of the TMP Studios podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, the Black on Black Cinema podcast, Coming Distractions, and the weekly preview episode of the Look Forward Political podcast. Go to densepixels.com/premium. Give us $50 a year or $5 a month if that works for you. And you get access to the backlog of all of our premium content, including the airing of grievances, No Time to Bleed, The Man with the Golden Tongues, Upstage Conversation, and the full hour and a half, 2-hour-ish episode of the Look Forward Political podcast. That is not backlog. That's every week. Every week. Because politics just does not stop.
I think we're going to be
Things about to get spicy next week or so.
Well, we're gonna be streaming election result coverage live as it comes in. So we're gonna be talking about what's happening as it happens in real time. So
y'all have fun with that.
Yeah,
I'm going to be recording a set with my band. So
well, that's very exciting for you.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been doing a couple live shows here lately on Look Forward. So
do you think you'll get the influx of
conservatives? Probably
conservatives like you have been getting.
Yeah, it's so what we found out is that, again, if you post innocuous live streams on the internet, especially of a local debate that is not really being nationally covered on normal TV, you will find all sorts that wander into your little thing, and you'll know that they're not normal listeners, because it's like once you get a couple minutes in, they soon realize where they are and immediately turn on the flame jets to try to antagonize in the comments, which me and Jay during the live stream don't look at. So yell away.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm
hilarious.
sure you do.
One person I distinctly remember typing, "Hey, black guy, shut up."
Oh boy.
And like I said, we don't see it, but YouTube does, and we thank you for your engagement, conservative idiots.
Right. Engagement is engagement.
That's right. We're thumbing down this stream. Thanks. I appreciate it. Cool.
It's funny. Well, to be fair to them, right? Like the podcast, like the deco around it has like red and blue.
Oh, it's
right?
very I think Jay did that purposely. It's purposefully ambiguous. And then when they get in there, they see Jay, and then they see me, and they're like,
they see you,
yes.
Right? They see you, and they see Jay, but they hear Jay. Right?
Yes.
He doesn't sound like a scary black guy, right? But what conservatives don't understand is that there is a theory that I've come up with regarding how to spot a black conservative. If the black conservative has no facial hair, or if the black person has no facial hair or just a mustache, there's like a 75% chance that they are conservative. Because no black man in his right mind is just gonna rock a clean shaven head. It's just weird. It's just weird. That's how I can spot them. So if you really want to fool them, you got to get Jay to shave that Lincoln beard he's got.
Well, and again, I think they get fooled by me because, like I said,
they definitely get fooled
like they're like, oh, like this guy's definitely fucking.
This guy's got a beard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
He's drinking a beer while he's podcasting. Like this guy's definitely fucking a fucking Republican. And then
you got to get yourself some white Oakleys with blue lenses.
That's true. That'll really fool him. And a trucker hat. We gotta do all these things. And again, like we didn't even get into the deep shit last week. Like I told Jay, it's like next time, like if we really want to piss off the conservatives that fall into the chat, like let's start talking about our views on religion. Like that'll really shake things up, spice it up. That was a really long, really extended housekeeping ad read for you guys, so you're welcome on that front. Some more news came out today. Just a reminder that not every studio acquisition is good news for the studio being acquired. Just 3 weeks after the studio formerly known as Square Enix Montreal, now they rebranded themselves a couple weeks ago as Onoma. Well, they're now closed. Devolver Digital, who purchased them from Square Enix, decided to close the studio. This studio was probably best known for making the Go series of games, which were mobile, like puzzle strategy games, which were actually pretty fun. There was a Hitman
Go and Deus
Lara
Ex
Croft,
Go and
Deus Ex. They were, like I said, I played Hitman and Lara Croft. They were both fun little games. But because Devolver wants to focus specifically on console and PC, they decided to unfortunately close the studio to scale back some of the costs that are associated with these folks as well. They did also talk about things that Eidos Montreal has in the pipeline, which includes a new IP that they're working on, a new Deus Ex, which they said they're very, very early in the process of, and a co-developer partnership with Xbox for the Fable game that's upcoming. So that's a bummer for those people that are at Square Enix Montreal, and I hope, or formerly at Square Enix Montreal, that I hope do land on their feet. Again, they've only been under the guise of the Embracer Group for about 5 months. And according to the report that Jason Schreier shared out, many of the staff from that studio are moving to Eidos Montreal. So it seems like a lot of people are being relocated, which is good.
That's good. I just don't understand why you go through the entire marketing process of like rebranding, like coming up with a new name, coming up with a new logo. These are not quick processes
not
or
cheap.
cheap processes. Yeah. I don't understand why you would go through that whole process just to be like, yeah, fuck it, like close the studio a month later.
Yeah,
That's
and
nuts
because
to me.
like you said, like I'm sure the decision to do this wasn't made like yesterday. Like I'm sure that it
Right.
was something that they were thinking about and considering. So I don't know why they would have bothered to let them go through all that rigmarole
Yeah.
just to shut them down a little bit later. So, like I said, that sucks. You never like to see that, and especially after a studio that probably thought they had a bit of a fresh lease on life after getting out from Square, who again, Square loves Japan. They do not like the West, which is funny though because they just came out, I think, in an earnings call a couple weeks ago and talked about how like, oh, like we see it necessary to create like a footprint of games in the West and to develop games that will be more appealing for Western audiences. I'm like, you just had 3 studios that you let go that made games that were catering specifically for Western audiences.
Well, no, they want to make games to cater to Western audience. They want to make games that cater to Western audiences.
So, one of the coolest things that I've seen in sports happened over the weekend as well. So, if you're a recent listener to the show in the past couple year or so, that I am a big F1 fan, and there's a few folks in the Dense Pixels Discord who also like the F1. Not really big on NASCAR though. NASCAR to me, even as someone who likes the motorsports, is still just kind of dudes turning left for a long period of time. Very different type of racing than Formula One for sure. But what happened this weekend was pretty neat. So Ross Chastain is a driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This was the second to last race of the season. And Ross Chastain needed to finish, I think, 8th in order to earn enough points to qualify for the championship playoff that's happening in Phoenix next week for NASCAR. Like NASCAR does have a playoff system, which is weird because even drivers that aren't in the playoffs still drive. Like they'd still race the full field. It's just that only a handful of racers are actually competing for shit, which is odd. But I guess that's how they have to do it because having 4 stock cars on a big racetrack is not really very exciting. So he was going into the final 2 turns of the Martinsville Speedway, which is the shortest lap and the slowest lap on the NASCAR. Well, not the slowest lap, but it's the shortest lap and the lowest speed track on the NASCAR circuit. And he had
imagine Baby Park, but it's
it's basically the Baby Park of NASCAR tracks. And he had to quickly make up 2 positions in the last 2 turns of the race, which is not easy to do in NASCAR. Like it's not easy to get that much extra speed. So he decided to pull a move that sim racers have been pulling for eternity.
Years.
And always been told that it doesn't work. And Ross Chastain proved that, as a matter of fact, it does. So Ross Chastain, going into the second to last turn, shifts his car up into 5th gear and just rides it along the wall on the outside of the track. And because he was letting the wall keep his car on the road, he was able to get speeds that no other driver on the track were able to sustain. He had the fastest lap of the day by doing this by a full 2 seconds over anybody else in the field. And we're talking and these are 18-second laps. Like he ran an 18-second lap. The next highest guy ran a 20-second lap. Again, it's a short course. But it worked. Like he passed 5 cars on the outside of the track, finished 5th place, and ended up getting him into the championship final. And his car was fine because apparently one thing they did this year is for safety, they upgraded the durability of the body of the car and the chassis so that it would hold up better in collisions because NASCAR tends to have a lot of collisions. So Ross Chastain's like, fuck it. I've got nothing to lose. Let's see how durable the car actually is. And just and like I said, you can see in the GIF on the story that we have that we're looking at this. He's just literally riding the car around the barrier on the outside of the track.
Yeah, there's a Twitter video actually from just the NASCAR on NBC account that's got the full wide view of it, and it's nuts because everyone else is slowing down to make the turn, like a sane person would do, and he just punch it, here we go, and of course it works. And in his post game interview, he was just like, yeah, I played a lot of NASCAR 2005 on the GameCube. You could get away with it in the game. I did this when I was 8 years old, and I'm like, my man, my guy.
There's an even better cut of that I don't know who, I think NASCAR released this too, of other drivers reacting to it in real time, because like they're just like their spotter, their engineer is like telling them like, oh, the number one car's coming up on the outside, and they're like, what the fuck? Just like, see him like zoom by, they're like, I can't believe he fucking tried that. Like that's crazy.
I love how I love how this dude is like, he's not calculating like the centrifugal force needed to do this. Like, oh, will I be able to do this if I maintain enough speed? The force is going to push me over here, so I need to get to the wall. No, I just played it on the GameCube.
I played this on the GameCube. I let go of the wheel, and I hope I didn't catch anything that was sticking out of the barrier, like an access gate that like probably would have torn up his car, even worse than his car got torn up.
Apparently, the car was relatively fine. Like they looked at it in the pits after the race, and like the side looked like it was jacked up a little bit, but the integrity of the body was intact, which is crazy. Nuts. Now, I mean, those barriers that they have on the outside, it's not like a cement wall. Those are collapsible barriers so that it absorbs the force of impact if a driver were to careen into them. So it's not like driving along a Jersey wall on the side of the highway. Like that might be a little bit different. But it's still it's crazy. And again, it got NASCAR like a shitload of eyeballs because everybody was talking about this on Sunday. Especially in motorsports, but even outside of motorsports, like people saw it as well.
Yeah, it's just funny. Some people in the comments are like, how the fuck would this work? Like, how is speed with that much friction faster than like slowing your car down? And it's just like, cars really have to slow down a lot in order to hug the inner compared to their max speed, which is normally a net gain because you cannot turn sharp enough at a higher speed to stay off the wall. But like in this case, he just let the wall steer for him, so he just floored it on the gas. It's
literally what he did. He just let Jesus take the wheel. He just like you said, like let the wall keep him pointed in the right direction and just go pedal to the floor. Like and again, like this was a race that normally your car never hits fifth gear because that's how slow you have to go around the track because there's it's such a small oval that like you can't get up to fifth gear. Like you're stuck in fourth basically the entire for fourth and third the entire lap. Like I said, pretty cool shit. It got NASCAR a lot of eyeballs. They did say the rules people came in and they said this is legal. Like there's nothing illegal about it. We're not changing the rules for the next race. So if anyone wants to send it along the wall next race, like feel free, and we'll look at it during the off season. So
it's not like Airbud rules.
No,
it's like, well, there's nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't play basketball. So okay.
Yeah, there. I mean, I guess it kind of is like airball rules. Like it's like, look, it doesn't say you can't ride your car along the wall. No, people wouldn't normally do it because you're probably going to wreck your car. I guess they didn't anticipate the fact that bulking up the durability of the cars this season would allow for this tactic to work in real life. So I thought it was cool that the drivers weren't like petty bitches about it. Like most of them were like, that's really fucking cool. Some of them were like, yeah, it was really cool. I really hope they do something about it because if we feel like we're opening Pandora's box here a little bit if we kind of let this stand. You're like people are like, oh, like this someone's gonna race the whole race like this. First of all, no, you're not going to see that. No. Secondly, like because that will tear the car up if you're doing it around the whole fucking track. Two, like it really only works at a course like Martinsville where it is so small that that's such a short distance because most speedways have two really long straightaways attached to them as well. So this would not be faster than driving in a straight line with your pedal on the floor. I can assure you of that. Like you're not wall riding it down the straightaway. You're only doing this around like a steep banked curve. So I thought it was neat.
Yeah, this is funny, man. This is funny. That's awesome. You know what else is awesome? Buying shit.
I would say is well, I guess buying shit is awesome. I don't know if where you're buying
Yeah,
it is
buying it is
as
awesome.
awesome.
I don't. Yeah, if you but if you wanna help us out, go to densepixels.com/Amazon. Doing that will get you what you need, and it'll give us a finder's fee. It helps us out. So I'm at densepixels.com/Amazon right now. I typed in NASCAR. Let's see what you can buy.
Always
When you go to
my
Dense
favorite
Pixels.
favorite part of the
when
show.
when you go to densepixels.com/NASCAR, you can get a Raise Hell Praise Dale vintage t-shirt. Hell and Dale don't rhyme.
No, not at all.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They do depending on what part of the country you're in.
Oh, well, yeah. Raise
Raise
Hell
hail
and
and
Praise Dale.
praise Dale.
Good Lord. All right. Get yourself a Raise Hell Praise
I
Dale.
will say not to besmirch the good name of the deceased Dale Earnhardt, but for a dude whose nickname was the Intimidator, one of the least intimidating guys I've ever seen in my entire
He
life.
was just a little.
He is just a little guy with his Ned Flanders mustache, and I'm just like, you're not the Intimidator.
Yeah, he's just a little guy.
You can get a Funko Pop of Dale Earnhardt Sr. for $25. Good
That
Lord,
seems-
is that how much?
Does it come with a car?
No, it comes with just that Dale and his Ned
And his
Flanders
hail.
mustache. Yeah, man. So there's a bunch of NASCAR stuff that you can get. I want to go to one. My wife is from just outside of Daytona. The speedway is like maybe 5 miles from her childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it from her house, which is annoying.
I mean,
But,
I guess if you're gonna go to one, like that would be the one to go to. The 500 is the Super Bowl of racing, as they say.
Right. So I would love to go to one, but we'll see. It's a huge fucking thing, man. Like it's a big deal down there. So yeah, go to densepixels.com/Amazon. Get yourself a Raise Hail Praise Dale t-shirt and meet me down in Daytona.
Like I said, I know we have a couple fans in the group who do watch NASCAR. They're gonna have to explain to me what about the racing is appealing. Like I know that NASCAR is much more about like jockeying for position in a crowded field, and that's kind of the skill. Like you're trying to like, catch a slipstream from cars in front of you and pass them at the right time and kind of keep things in control because you're, pedal to the floor, but you're on like a super steeply banked circuit. So like if you fucking lose it, like you're going to lose it and crash into the wall and probably take 3 cars with you kind of shit. So like I get that part of it, but like to me, like that doesn't, I don't know. I guess the level of technical skill that's required doesn't really do anything for me. Whereas F1, like you have to brake, you have to corner, you have to actually like, take good turn angles and shit like that. Like to me, that's a lot more interesting.
I would imagine that it's the same. Like what you're talking about, what you appreciate about F1 is there. It's just in NASCAR. I would imagine that it's just more interaction between the cars than the cars and the track. I guess with F1, because. I don't know. I'm new to all this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. I still want to go to one. Look, if I had my druthers, I would go to like Monaco or whatever. Right?
No. Yeah. See, but Monaco, yes, for the experience, but the race itself is usually balls every year.
I just want to go to Monaco.
I mean, I get that too. I would also love to go to Monaco. But if you're going to see a good race, Monaco is definitely the last fucking track you should go to see that.
But yeah, go to densepixels.com/Amazon.
To the post office we go. Daniel asks, Carrie, what instrument would you want to learn if it took you literally no time at all? So like if you could snap your fingers and learn a new instrument, what would you want it to be?
Saxophone.
It's a good choice. It's a quality choice.
I feel like sax. You learn one sax, you're basically able to play all of them, plus the clarinets as well. So that just opens up the whole woodwind family to me.
It is true.
Yep.
The best instrument, the best wind instrument.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
What is the best wind instrument?
Trombone.
I feel,
Obviously.
but no, I feel like you're being. I feel like that's just confirmation bias.
Honestly, though, like it's tough. Like coming from this from like an arranging standpoint, like I honestly think the saxophone family is the most versatile because you can very much use them on brass focus lines just as frequently as you can use them on woodwind focus lines.
Yep.
They're a perfect middle ground. I love a saxophone, and that's why I play in a band with 3 of them.
Cam says, judging by the promo package on last week's Dynamite, we will be getting a return soon from the Elite. What percentage chance do you give for a CM Punk return to the company down the road as well? It sure seems like it's 0 from all the scuttlebutt that's out there.
Yeah, unless this is some weird self-inflicted wound like mega swerve, 0. And quite frankly, if and this is a big if he comes back, I would have to imagine it wouldn't be in like a wrestling capacity, right? Like this dude he's well past his prime, and honestly, I like CM Punk, but I've never been like, I don't get why people are crying for him. Like he just wasn't like that type of in-ring performer for me. But I guess that goes to show you like professional wrestling is way more than like in-ring work. Like you need to be a character. You need to and you need to be able to captivate an audience, and he could captivate an audience. Like the best thing he could do is with his mouth. And I feel like MJF is the same. I think that guy's adequate in the ring, but like he's a great actor. And yeah, I think CM Punk is probably just gonna like he don't need the money, right? So and he doesn't need like the abuse, the physical abuse that it's gonna take on his body, right? Because he's not exactly he's an athlete. He's a way better athlete than I am, but he seems to be getting hurt every other pay-per-view. So
he's also in his mid 40s at this point.
Yeah, he's in his mid 40s, man. He's
didn't
in his
wrestle
40s.
Didn't wrestle for several years.
Exactly. And that's I used to jog and run like not a half marathon. Like the longest I've ever run was like the Army 10 miler a couple of times. I took a year off and I've never gotten back. Like I've never gotten my speed back. And that was 1 year. Like, so I don't think he's coming back. Quite frankly, I don't really need him back. I don't think AEW needs him back, which is why the Elite are, coming back. Like if you had to choose between them and him, you choose them.
Our buddy Chris said this in the wake of that whole situation. And I think this is probably the best read on him, is that he's a guy that can't get his own way because he demands respect from people that he himself would never give it to. And he gets really in his feelings when people disrespect him or are perceived to be disrespecting him.
Yeah, he's got some sort of like mental thing, man, where it's he's like every other hypocrite, right? Like he's a do as I say, not as I do guy, and people don't like that shit, man. Yeah. People would much rather you just be a straight up asshole to everybody than to be someone who's high and mighty. That's why people hate religious people, because they act all pious on Sunday, and Monday through Saturday they eat ass. So like ain't nothing wrong with it, but like don't look down on other people for doing it.
Right. Film Wander says, because Sony is scared of Big Dip Microsoft hogging all the Activision Blizzard nectar, should they bring back the SOCOM games? Now, I personally don't think that they would, unless somehow Call of Duty was ever taken off of their platform. Then they'd have to. Then I feel like they'd have to, just to have an alternative. But I don't think so. I really don't think so.
No, I mean, that would require them to put a lot more of their own resources into building back up a first party title that would appeal to that crowd. So
I'll tell you what, the one thing they could do if they really wanted to revive the SOCOM name, this extraction shooter genre is starting to really gain a foothold with like a more niche sector of the market. And I feel like that if somebody could unlock like the big budget version of an extraction shooter, so I'm talking about like games like Tarkov and things like that, that maybe there's a lane for that. Like if you could find a way to make a kind of mass appeal extraction shooter, and SOCOM could definitely be that game. Like SOCOM's whole fucking deal was like, oh, this is the tactical, shooter that that's out there, and a lot of people really liked it for that. So I think that would be the lane that they would have if they wanted to do it. Cam asks Carrie, he says, I'm leaning towards Pokemon Violet because I think the legendary looks slightly more fun. Any reason you think that I should reconsider?
No, live your best life. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out in like 2.5 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I'm planning on getting Violet, not Violet. I'm planning on getting Scarlet because I grew up playing Pokemon Red, and Scarlet, Violet are very much just other terms for Red and Blue. So I also like the Professor more. I'm trying to think if there are like version exclusives. I mean, there will be, but I don't know that there have been things confirmed beyond like the legendaries being exclusive to each game. And then there's like there's a couple Pokemon that have been confirmed for Scarlet versus Violet, but if you're swayed by thinking the legendary looks cooler, I also think he looks cooler in Violet, then yeah, do it. It's going to be a Pokemon game. All the initial impressions have been pretty positive so far. I like the fact that they're sort of giving you 3 different like main routes to do. If you don't want to do the gym challenge off the bat, it doesn't seem like you have to, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. Live your best life, dude.
Trey says, after playing a bit more of No More Heroes 3 and not being as into it as the previous games, are there any other entries in a semi to major franchise that you like where this has happened? So like basically where later entries let you down.
Bayonetta.
Ace Attorney.
Didn't you just talk about that it was good?
It is good, but it's just
not as good as the earlier ones.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's wearing off, right? Like the novelty is not there, right? Like it's just a very good game, but like I'm not like, oh, look at I bought it. I initially bought it because, to be perfectly honest, because it looked like a female Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry.
A lot of people bought it because of that.
That's why I bought it, and it turns out it was an amazing
flashy
game.
Combat, but there's titties now. Like,
But
yeah,
titties,
no shit.
that's it. Like I'm not, I'll be honest with you.
I'm surprised you didn't. Like, there's one example that I would think for you would come to mind immediately. I'm surprised you didn't pull out.
What could that be?
It's a fighting. It's a fighting game. That's the only hint I'll give you.
I mean, that can be anything.
There's one glaring one that's out there.
That's currently out there?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
That's not the one I was going to say. Soul Calibur was the one I was going to say, considering that everybody fucking hated the later entries.
Soul Calibur, the last Soul Calibur was good. It's just kind of like the characters in Soul Calibur they don't really do it for me. And fighting games live and die by their characters, man. Like that's what gets you in the door, right? That's why one of the characters looks like a dominatrix with big boobs and a whip for a sword whip. Come on, yo. Like, what? But other than that, it's just like samurai guy and bow staff shonen character and lizard man, right? Like, yeah, no, that's a good one though. That is a good one.
For me, it was the Arkham series. I really, really did not like Arkham Knight. And I didn't play Arkham Origins because it
I think
didn't,
a
it
lot of
didn't look
people
appealing to me at
felt
all.
the same way.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a real good one too.
Yeah.
Because Arkham Knight was a chore.
Yep.
Gonna be Ace Attorney for me. Really, really love those first 4 games. Honestly, like the first 3 Phoenix Wright games and the first that Apollo Justice. Great, cool, super fun. Everything after that, just not bad, but just not as good, not as compelling. I feel the same way about the Zero Escape franchise. 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors was a great game. Then Virtue's Last Reward came out and was not a great game. I did not even bother with Zero Time Dilemma. And then honestly, Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons, whatever the fuck. It's Bokujo Monogatari. It's all those old games, like the stuff on the Game Boy, like the first DS game was fun, charming. It really lost its charm after that point in time. So
Finally.
but hey, I've got Stardew Valley, so hey.
Yeah. On a quick aside there, I downloaded the Harvestella demo for my wife, and I think that she's going to make me buy Harvestella in a couple weeks for her.
Here's what's really stupid. That game comes out like Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded the demo. Have not gotten to the demo yet.
What a great lead in to our final question. If you watch this, what game do you have or want to buy, but know that you just don't have enough time to get into it?
I can't even say I don't have enough time. I have enough time. I'm just choosing to play Fallout 4 instead. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have any games right now that I don't have the time for, but that I want to play. Like, I am going to make the time for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I am going to make the time for what else is coming out that I'm super excited about. I know there's other things, and I'm just having the smoothest brain tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, after listening to you two talk about it for the last several years on this podcast, I would really love to experience Final Fantasy XIV. I know that I do not have the time to play Final Fantasy XIV. I do not have the time to invest into that game.
You don't have the time for the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV?
I do not, considering that you told me that even just to get through like each of the stories is like 20, 30 hours of RPG role playing. Yeah.
Minimum.
And that's for each storyline, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely don't have time for that.
I would love to get back into that. Yeah, I don't know. I got all the time in the world right now because I'm on paternity leave. So
goddamn, still how?
I'm going to be on paternity leave until January.
What?
So, yeah.
How did you finagle that? Fucking government.
My job's awesome.
Government job. Lucky you. Good for you.
So, yeah, I don't know. Normally it would be. Normally I don't know, because normally I don't have as much time. That's why I'm really glad God of War is coming out next week. So that I can kind of get everything.
Oh
I
yeah,
need
that
to get
is next week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is next week? Sonic Frontiers.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that game was that close to being done when we saw it?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I thought people were just like kind of dumping on it, and I'm like, oh, that's not fair, right? This game's probably coming out in 2023. They still got time.
It had literally months until it was time to go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh shit.
Very cool. I think those are all. I think we had great answers. I'm gonna pat ourselves in the back. Great answers for you listeners this week with the post office out there. So that is gonna call time on our show. Don't forget to go to densepixels.com/fans to join our Discord, where you too can ask us questions that we will answer in the Dense Pixels post office every single week. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast as well as all the other TNP Studio shows wherever you download fine podcasts. Go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe there as well. Make sure you follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/densepixels. You can also follow our individual accounts. I am DensePixels Brad, Carrie is up, it's Carrie. Terrence is Apparition 410. That is it for next week.
Real quick, if you are looking for some Twitch stream to watch this weekend, the Baltimore Gamer Symphony Orchestra and the Washington Metropolitan Gamer Symphony Orchestra are joining up for Extra Life, which is this weekend. So we are doing two 12-hour streams, all going to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So I will be on that because I'm hosting that event in my house. So so head to twitch.tv/WMGSO. It's going to be hosted on the Washington Metropolitan Gamer Symphony Orchestra's channel. But we got some good stuff planned. We've got some spooky games. We've got some Monster Hunter planned. We've got some party games planned. And if we raise enough money, we're going to play some custom tunes in Trombone Champ. So
very cool. Yeah, go give the kids $10 before you go to densepixels.com/Amazon and waste all your money on some nonsense. Look forward next week to God of War impressions from Micah, because I guarantee you that he's gonna be playing the shit out of that. Is it this weekend that's coming out? It says Friday, right?
It's coming out. Yeah, so you'll only get them if we record on Wednesday, because that's when it's coming
out. It's coming out Tuesday. Okay. Well, we can't record on Tuesday because that's election night. So we'll have to see what's the schedule.
It'll be released on Wednesday.
Oh, so. What the fuck? Oh, maybe okay. So maybe not next week for God of War impressions. Because we're not famous enough to get codes from Sony for that shit. So that's okay. That's it for us. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening. We'll see you all the next time.
Bye.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.